Today I'm talking about trucking, how to become a trucker without going to trucking school. It's very doable. Not everybody has the aptitude or the ability to do that. If it's something that you think you can do, then do it. If it's not something that you think you could do, don't do it. You may need to go to trucking school if you don't have the aptitude, the ability, or the understanding of how to do it to do that. But basically what you do is you go down to the DMV, you get the commercial driver's license workbook, you read through it, you go in, you take all the tests, and if you have the ability in the background and can read and comprehend what's going on inside the commercial driver's license booklet, you can pass the test. From there you'll go out and drive the truck. If you get somebody that's pretty easy, that will help you a little bit. You can pass the driving test okay. If not, you can maybe go on to a construction site and tell them what you're doing, and maybe they'll let you drive one of their off-road trucks for practicing how to drive a vehicle and work for them. And they might even hire you as a commercial drivers because they are in demand. And it pays better than other jobs on a construction site, on like excavation sites. It pays like $1 more an hour if you have a commercial driver's license, or maybe more than that. And then take your driver's test. Now, if you're going to be a long haul trucker, you might want to drive with somebody, ride along with them and drive with them and dual team with them for a short time to really get the feel of what's going on with that company and that specific type of truck and what they're hauling and everything else that goes with it. Probably a couple of weeks, a week or two, whatever you think you need. Don't be afraid to team with people and have them help you as much as you feel like you need it, or as much as they tell you you might need it. A week or two, or even a month, or whatever. I mean, you should be getting paid the whole time, so it's worth it to do it. But after you're done teaming with somebody, you should be able to drive a truck on your own. Make sure you get the fuel stops down where you need to get the fuel, and so forth and so on, and all the information that you need. Most driving companies have handbooks that they come with. Read through your handbooks carefully. That's probably going to be pretty important information. You want to be familiar with the height of your truck. You want to ask that right off. You want to be familiar with bridge law requirements, if that applies to you. And don't be afraid to ask questions. It's better to ask and be thought unknowledgeable once than to be unknowledgeable until you figure it out. So that's a much easier path. Working with companies, what's going to end your career as a trucker quicker than anything, and for sure, is getting tickets and accidents. So the main thing to avoid as a trucker is tickets and accidents, and it's very probable that you'll be pressured into doing things that are illegal or outlawed by the trucking company. My advice is to keep that to a minimum or not at all. That will end your career faster than anything. Getting fired from a trucking company means nothing. Losing your license as a commercial driver's license is everything as a truck driver. Don't be afraid to look elsewhere. If a trucking company is treating you badly or asking you to do things that you don't want to do, or pressuring you, or causing you to drive erratically, speed, go too fast, drive over your hours, or what have you, or do things that are unreasonable, just look elsewhere. Just tell them what the problem is. Say, you know what, I can't work for you. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of trucking companies that will hire you if you're an experienced truck driver. If you're an inexperienced truck driver, you want to have the best resume that you can get, and even if you haven't driven a commercial vehicle, you want to list any time that you ever got paid for driving on your resume, on your application too. If you drove vehicles in construction sites, you got paid to do that, list that. If you delivered pizzas, you want to list that as a driver. You don't have to necessarily put down that it was pizza that you're driving, but I mean it's gonna help you both insurance wise and to get the job. Anything that you can do to list any of those kinds of jobs where you drove and got paid for it, any kind of delivery jobs, anything like that is going to help you, even if it's not a commercial vehicle, because it proves that you could drive and drive safely. Be sure and list all that. One of the hardest things to do is to go back over your work history and fill out the application and your work history. So that's something you want to keep track of, is your work history. Always keep good track of that. It's hard to go back through it, and sometimes it'll take you a day or two to go through it all, and then you come back, oh, you got a gap here or a gap there. It depends on the company that you work for, what their requirements are. But that's about it. If you can do those things, that's a very quick summary on hitting the high points on what you need to do to become a trucker without going to trucking school. So there's definitely ways to do it, and you can avoid the fees of trucking school and avoid the trucking school altogether and the cost expense of it. And even if you have things on your driving record that aren't great, there are people that will hire you and you can still get into the industry, because there are truckers out there that have tickets and they still get driving jobs. But the better your record is, the more hireable you'll be, and the more trucking companies will be willing to hire you. The more of them that you'll apply for, that will allow you to work for them. But some of them are pretty strict on who they'll hire. They'll only hire the best, the safest drivers, really. It's the insurance qualifications. Trucking's like, well, when we go to hire you, you have to fit our insurance needs and this and that, and we look for the safest driver, and then you get behind the wheel and it's like they want to beat you to death, trying to get you to do more and more and more and drive over your hours and do all kinds of illegal stuff, trying to get you to move that load as fast as you can. And it's kind of a ridiculous thing, but just got to remember, there's just tons and tons of places that will hire you. You don't need to work for anybody who's not somebody that you'd want to work for. And not everybody's worth working for. Anyway, that's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Press like if you like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye.